the most experienced team of meteorologists. Weather coverage you can count on.
And the rain bands from Debbie causing problems. I'll show you how much rainfall they've already seen down around Charleston and what's headed our way.
We can give you this live look at Myrtle Beach right now. You can see the wind and rain from Debbie this morning. Part of our team coverage. We are live in Wrightsville Beach as well, following the effect to other states in the WRAL Live Center for you.
At least one person is seriously hurt after a shooting early this morning in downtown Raleigh. The cleanup after a bullet shattered glass.
Also today, we expect to learn who will be Kamala Harris's running mate. The announcement coming after she officially secured the Democratic presidential nomination just hours ago.
And a monumental moment on the Olympics gymnastics podium. Another medal for Simone Biles and a historic showing for all the winning athletes. Plus, we are live in Paris with the look ahead to basketball today. We'll run down the best Olympic moments for you in just a moment. But first, we are going to focus on Debbie. Get ready for a weather marathon as we will see days of rain, and that rain starts today. Hello, everyone. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan over here in the WRAL Live Center with Elizabeth Gardner. And slow-moving, heavy rain. Big concerns here from now and for days.
Yeah, a lot of things kind of popping up for us this morning. One, how much rainfall we've seen around the Charleston area. This first rain band, one of these rain bands anyway, that's a little closer to the center of circulation, dumping a lot of heavy rain. And I think because of that, the Weather Prediction Center that issues our flooding advisories has bumped us up to extreme for Thursday. Take a look at this. This brown shaded area just south of Charleston. We've seen almost a foot of rain right there in that pocket. That's from that rain band. And then around that, towards Savannah, about 9 inches of rain, just north of Savannah, around 8 inches. And of course, all of this is starting to push northward up toward our area. Slow movement of this storm is creating some of these issues. It's moving northeast at 7 miles per hour. It's going to hang around Charleston and continue to shift northward. Today's the first day that we'll start to see some of the rain bands. Our flood watch goes into effect at 9 a.m. lasts through Friday. 5 to 10 inches of rain, but looking at what's happening down south, certainly some pockets that may be heavier. And this is new this morning. We're now under an extreme risk for flooding on Thursday. That is unusual. I'll tell you how many years it's been since we've had an extreme risk for flooding coming up. Let's talk about some of those numbers. You can see the yellow shaded area. That's going to be 10, 15, 20 inches of rain from Raleigh southward, 7 to 10. Our northern counties around 5 to 7 inches possibly. And of course, today's the first day that we're going to start to see some of that rain. Of course, those rain bands will be coming from the south. So later this morning, we'll see those in Fayetteville, closer to lunchtime around the Triangle area. And then once that starts, it continues through Friday, maybe even into Saturday morning. So we go to a 70% chance this evening. This morning, though, it's just a 20% chance. So the morning commute should be fairly dry. High risk for flooding with this, medium risk for winds, maybe some isolated power outages, and the potential for some isolated tornadoes, especially Thursday into Friday. It's a cloudy start and warm this morning at 76. We'll see a high this afternoon in the mid 80s. We talked about what we'll see here. We'll take a closer look at the coastal impacts coming up. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, all new into the WO Traffic Center. We just got reports of Raleigh police working a crash on Glenwood Avenue near I-540. It just happened in the last 20 minutes, not really causing any major problems in that area. But if you happen to be on Glenwood Avenue any time in the next few minutes, you'll see some police activity, not to worry about. That slowdown that we've been monitoring on I-540 in the westbound lanes, completely cleared this morning. That was as a result of nighttime construction that's finally over, and all the major roads are delay-free at this hour.
Ken, thanks. We're going to take you to Charleston, South Carolina, where they are getting drenched with rain right now. You heard Elizabeth just mention that area already has seen a foot of rain this morning. Here's what's new this morning. Right now, more than 150,000 homes are without power across the Southeast. At least 5 people have died as a result of Debbie. At 11:30 last night, President Biden issued a state of emergency in Georgia, following Florida and South Carolina. Governor Roy Cooper has issued a state of emergency for here in North Carolina. Our team coverage continues now with WRAL's Kelsey Coffey in Wrightsville Beach. And Kelsey, people there could experience a devastating storm surge. What's happening now?
Renee, exactly. And now that the sun is starting to come up a little bit, you may be able to see the surf there picking up. Red flags will be flying on the beach here this morning. The National Weather Service using that as a reminder for swimmers about the high risk for rip currents. Take a look at this video from last night. You can see some rain coming down around sunset. There were scattered showers here on the beach yesterday evening. As we're anticipating nearly 2 months worth of rain in just 1 week, the biggest concern is flooding. New Hanover County Emergency Management used Hurricane Florence as a learning lesson. They now have more equipment to handle catastrophic flooding, like high water vehicles. County officials say now is the time to review your emergency plan.
The best thing to do right now is to take a look at your own personal emergency plans. What's your comfort level? If the power were to go out today just because of, random Monday thunderstorm, well, what would your plan be? How would you take care of your family?
County officials are warning folks who live in this area. They say even though you may have experienced one hurricane, you still need to be prepared for this tropical storm. Every storm is different, so they will be issuing updates on social media. I'll be sure to monitor that throughout the day. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Wrightsville Beach.
Hey, Chris Lovingood here in the WRAL Live Center. I wanted to show you that camera one more time of Charleston that we showed you a little bit ago to talk a little bit more about what city leaders are there doing. They actually warned people over the weekend to be prepared for this system that was going to be pushing through their area, even handing out sandbags to people at one point. I want to show you something else that's happening in Charleston. I got this little video on loop here to show you what we saw not too long ago. And within the past 10 minutes, see all that heavy rain that's pushing down there? You can see the saturation on the ground that's happening because of the rain. So that just shows you the effect of Debbie that's having on Charleston. I want to show you another thing here, too. This is something I like to remind people to let you know. You can actually follow along with the radar with the WRAL Severe Weather Team by going to WRAL.com and downloading the WRAL News app. Let's say you want to watch it. You simply go to the Weather tab on our app, scroll to the bottom where it says I Control Interactive Radar, and then, folks, you can follow along with our meteorologists in real time as that's happening. So we're going to keep looking for more images that are coming into the newsroom in regard to how Debbie is affecting the coastal area, but definitely make sure you keep with WRAL as we keep you informed and safe.
The news app's such a useful tool. WRAL will have team coverage from the coast all day and all week as Tropical Storm Debbie makes its way toward North Carolina. You can count on us to help you prepare as Debbie arrives, and we'll be here to help you stay safe during the storm.
Other breaking news we're following this morning. A man is seriously hurt after a shooting in downtown Raleigh. This happened around 1 a.m. You can see the shots left windows downtown shattered. Nick Perlin is in the WRAL breaking news tracker at the Raleigh Police Department right now. Nick, police were busy at 2 different crime scenes this morning.
And Jeff, that's right. And the first one was that scene that you just showed right there with the gunshots smashing through the window. That's at the PNC Plaza on Martin Street. I want to show you some video from that crime scene. This was at around 2:30 this morning, and you can see Raleigh police taping off that area of Martin Street. You can also see evidence markers there on the sidewalk. We do know one man was hurt in this shooting, but there's more to what was happening. Raleigh police were busy at another crime scene, and I want to show you that right now. This is on Davie Street, and you can see this area around Sir Walter Coffee taped off. And the reason why this is important is because some witnesses told me that they saw a man being brought into an ambulance and then taken to the hospital. So we're still trying to learn from Raleigh police if these two scenes are connected, and we're also still trying to find out from Raleigh police if they know who fired those gunshots early this morning. As more information becomes available, I'll be sure to update you. Reporting live in Raleigh, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
Today, Kamala Harris is expected to announce who her running mate will be. Also new this morning, Harris is officially the Democratic nominee for president. In a statement just before midnight, the Democratic National Convention announced Harris received 99% of the votes in 5 days of online balloting. She is expected to announce her running mate this morning before her rally in Philadelphia. The finalists include Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, and Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. You may remember Harris planned to be in Raleigh this week with her running mate, but that's been canceled because of the arrival of Debbie.
Wall Street will be trying to bounce back today. It's been a turbulent time. Thursday was bad, Friday as well, and the Dow got walloped again yesterday, shedding more than 1,000 points. WRAL's Michelle McConaughey is here now with a look at where the stock futures stand ahead of the opening bell and the reasons behind yesterday's numbers. Michelle.
Yeah, Jeff, yesterday was a rough day. Stock futures in the green this morning, a much different story than yesterday. The Dow, along with the S&P 500, had their worst day in 2 years. Markets plunged in the U.S. and around the world. The selling began in Japan. The Nikkei had its worst day since 1987. European stocks down hard, too. Here in the U.S., the downfall was propelled further by the weaker jobs report on Friday. It showed signs the economy is slowing and the jobless rate is rising. Many fear a recession could be in our future. The downturn also put more pressure on the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates substantially. The Fed is expected to start cutting interest rates very soon. Team USA will be looking to increase its medal count on the track and in the water at the Paris Olympics. This morning at 9, we'll see who takes home the gold in the women's diving 10-meter platform final. Then at 11, the women's volleyball quarterfinals get underway with Team USA taking on Poland. Starting at 1:35 this afternoon, track and field events get underway with several men's and women's finals, including the women's hammer throw and the men's long jump. You can watch all the action right here on WRAL.
And Renee, time to count them up. Team USA increasing its lead in the overall medal count. Americans have won 79 medals so far, 21 golds, tied for the top in that category. China's in second place with 53 total medals. France, Great Britain, and Australia round out the top 5.
Keep it right here. Coming up in 4 minutes, NBC's Jay Gray will join us live from Paris with a closer look at Team USA's success and what to watch for today at the Games.
And in the next half hour, raises for teachers and bus drivers in Wake County. The vote the school board plans for later today as the new year gets underway.
And new this morning, a big jump in our flooding risk for Thursday. It's now at extreme. I'll show you what that means and how much rain we're in for.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:14, watching some heavy rain bands down in Charleston and in Myrtle Beach. Those are lifting up toward North Carolina now. We'll likely have some of those rain bands moving into our viewing area, say around Fayetteville by mid-morning and around or just after lunchtime on up into the Triangle area. So we start to see some of that heavy rain today. It's a small chance this morning. The commute this morning in the Triangle should be pretty quiet. But by this evening, by the evening commute, we're up to a 70% chance of rain. Some of that will be heavy at times as those rain bands move through. Flood watch begins at 9 a.m., lasts through Friday, 5 to 10 inches of rain. The potential for there to be some rain that's even heavier than that. Take a live look at Wrightsville Beach, and the surf is starting to increase a little bit, but no rain there yet. We'll see highs here in the mid-80s.
And happening now in the WO Traffic Center, just a couple of incidents to report this morning. One on Glenwood Avenue at I-540, not causing any problems for your morning commute. There was a crash that was reported just now on Capitol Boulevard and Marsh Creek Road. That's completely cleared right now, but also around the Triangle and surrounding communities, all the major routes are delay-free this morning. There's a live look at the Beltline and Ridge Road if you're having to be heading out, and that's part of your morning commute, delay-free at this hour. And of course, Renee will have another update in about 10 minutes.
All right, we'll check in with you then. Ken, thank you. More news to tell you about. Police in Raleigh are trying to make an arrest after a shooting that left a man seriously hurt. This happened on Navajo Drive off Wake Forest Road near the Beltline just after 8 last night. Video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows the large number of police officers and first responders at the scene. We are working to learn more about how badly the man was hurt and whether police have any leads.
Team USA continues to collect medals in Paris. At least one American has been on the podium every day since the Games began. NBC News' Jay Gray joins us live this morning from Paris. Jay, you've been on our medal stand every day. This has been an amazing run for you and Team USA.
Oh, Jess, you're too kind. And this is the medal stand jacket. We're showing you some of the gear here in Paris. This may be what the American athletes are wearing the most here. 79 times, as you talk about, they've put this on and received a medal. Simone Biles doing it for the last time, at least here, yesterday. Closing out the gymnastics here in Paris, Maybe not the way many thought, but on her own terms and always with her smile. After a stumble on the beam, Simone Biles bouncing back on the floor, ending her summer in Paris by adding silver to the 3 golds she's won here and overcoming the disappointment of the twisties that sidelined her in Tokyo.
A couple years ago, I didn't think I'd be back here at an Olympic Games, so competing and then walking away with 4 medals, I'm not mad about it. I'm pretty proud of myself.
There was plenty for the Americans to be proud of inside Olympic Stadium. Valerie Ullman winning her 2nd straight gold in the discus, teammate Sam Kendricks grabbing silver in pole vault. In the mixed triathlon, the U.S. team takes home silver, adding another silver in mixed skeet shooting.
There's action developing here for the United States.
And after a rough start to the games with 3 straight losses, the women's 3x3 team goes on an amazing medal run.
For us to start 0-3 and go 6 of 7 in the next 7 games against the 7 best teams in the world is actually incredible.
Closing out the competition with a win over Canada for bronze. And a lot of opportunities for Team USA to put this jacket back on this evening, including at the Olympic Stadium and track and field and in the park where the skateboarders will be competing for medals. Jess?
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. One of the latest medals we added, Jay, was in surfing 10,000 miles away in Tahiti. So hang 10, buddy. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for that. This morning on Today, Simone Biles will be live, I should say, to talk about more about her amazing Olympics performance. Today airs right after this newscast, 7 o'clock here on WRAL.
Starting this morning, our southern beaches and our southern counties will start to see rain from Debbie. The storm right now is dumping large amounts of rain on Georgia and South Carolina. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is tracking the storm now, and they are seeing some astonishing amounts.
I'm going to show you how much rain has fallen in Charleston, which is one of the areas that's been hit hardest so far. We've had this very heavy rain band here that you can see just north of Charleston. That one very slow moving and dumping a lot of heavy rain. Today, we'll start to see those first rain bands this morning in our southern counties, and by lunchtime up around the Triangle area. We'll zoom in a little closer to the coast, and you can see around Wilmington, Carolina Beach, getting over toward Wrightsville, our southern beaches there, which would be, say, Ocean Isle, Bald Head Island. Those are starting to see some very heavy rain along with Myrtle Beach. So beginning to see some of that rain pushing up as far north as Lumberton. We'll see that again moving to Fayetteville and then into the rest of our viewing area as today wears on. Flood watch begins at 9 a.m. lasts through Friday, 5 to 10 inches of rain, but certainly looking at what's happened out there, I'm expecting that we could see some pockets that are heavier. As a matter of fact, new this morning, the Weather Prediction Center issues these flood alerts or flood risk maps for us, and this is new this morning. Instead of being medium pretty much through this entire event, we are now at high from the Triangle area southward on Wednesday and then extreme on Thursday. And it's been a long time since we've had an extreme flood risk. The last time was back in 2019 with Dorian. So that is something that we just don't see very often. We're looking at a high risk again for tomorrow and then that extreme risk on Thursday. How much rainfall is that going to be? Most likely 15 to 20 down to the south. You see from Lumberton down into South Carolina, 10 to 15 near Wilmington, 7 to 10 from Raleigh southward, and 5 to 7 to the north. And as we go through time, we may be adjusting that as we continue to see some of these extreme amounts of rain near Charleston, almost a foot of rain near Savannah, about 7 to 8 inches already. And so this storm, hasn't been around for long and is starting to really dump some concerning amounts of rain. By lunchtime, between Goldsboro and Southern Pines, we have a band of heavy rain. And then from that point on, it's just on. Here's Wednesday. You're going to continue to see these waves of rain, and it will definitely be heavy at times. We'll watch the path of the storm as it moves up the coast, continuing to bring some heavy rain. Flooding is going to be our biggest threat. Some down trees, isolated power outages are possible, especially as we get into Thursday and Friday, and possibly some isolated tornadoes, too, on Thursday into Friday. Along the coast, here's what they're expecting. There's a tropical storm watch from around Surf City to down around the South Carolina line, and about 2 to 4 foot storm surge watch. Already we're starting to see those early rain bands. So our southern beaches looking at 2 to 4 feet of storm surge. So major beach erosion is likely. 40 to 45 mile per hour winds and some isolated tornadoes, and along the coast 10 to 15 inches of flooding are all likely. So our southern beaches in particular are the ones that are going to get hit the hardest. Of course, for us, we're going to be watching that potential for some heavy rain. And Ken, I was really surprised to see us go under that extreme alert. That is just something that we don't see here very often.
Well, it's going to be a dicey few days ahead, Elizabeth. Thanks. Well, nothing dicey about your morning commute this morning. We do have a couple of incidents we want to bring to your attention. This just happened, a crash on Jones Sausage Road in the eastbound lane at I-40 westbound. It just happened in just a few minutes, not causing any delays for you this morning, so nothing to worry about. We just been monitoring this crash on Glenwood Avenue near I-540. Again, you're going to see some police activity in that area, but not a slowdown to really worry about. Elsewhere around the Triangle and surrounding communities, Durham, the major roadways are delay-free this morning. I-885, not a problem to report. If the Beltline happens to be part of your morning commute, take a look at this. This is the Beltline at I-440 and Capitol Boulevard, delay-free at this hour.
And Ken, we continue to follow breaking news this morning. A downtown Raleigh shooting left a man seriously hurt. The bullets broke out lobby windows in a downtown skyscraper, just shattered on the ground.
And our team coverage of Tropical Storm Debbie continues. We will have another live report from Wrightsville Beach as you look live where they are starting to feel the storm's effects.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
One of the greatest football players ever is celebrating the achievements of America's Olympic heroes.
Ken Smith here now with What's Trending. Ken.
Yeah, the GOAT in his own right, Tom Brady, reposting a picture of himself with U.S. gymnast Suni Lee saying, quote, so impressed with these girls. This comes a day after Brady joined rugby star Iona Maha for a selfie.
Getting in on all the action there. It is great to see his appreciation for the other athletes who are doing great things there. And he's taking in the games with his daughter. So just showing everybody a great time.
I wonder if Tom Brady gets starstruck. I mean, that would be with those Olympic athletes.
Yeah. He looks like he's starstruck in those pictures.
He should be. Thanks, Ken. We have much more news to come.
We're live in Wrightsville Beach as Tropical Storm Debbie slowly moves up the East Coast. Coming up, a live look at weather conditions.
And new this morning here, we have an extreme risk for flooding on Thursday, which is highly unusual for us here in North Carolina. I'll show you how much rain we're expecting. Michelle?
And Wake County could approve raises for teachers and bus drivers. We'll tell you how much they could see.